Nakalagay po dito, SGP only subscribe non-voting prepared shares on NGCP. So meaning, ano bang ibig sabihin ng prepared shares? So wala silang voting capacity. Diba? Wala silang voting capacity. You have to look into this, Mr. Chairman, because kung 20% yung ibinenta sa tao, prepared, non-voting, 40% is owned by China Grid Corporation. Yung 60% owned by the Filipinos, magiging 40% na lang yan. So yung 20% prepared, non-voting. So sino na ngayon ang magdidesisyon? Equal na ang China. Saka yung 40% ng nila Henry C.
Can you please repeat? You're now saying that...
Now, what I'm trying to imply here, Mr. Chairman, mayroong din implication sa national security to. Kasi nga, yung binenta nila, non-voting, prepared. Binili na sa NGCP yung 20%. Eh, ang breakdown niyan, 40% owned by China Grid Corporation and 60% owned by Filipinos. Binenta mo ngayon yung 20% sa public. Pero, prepared lang siya. Hindi siya common share. So, mawawala na ng voting power yung mga Pilipinos. Have you seen the implication of this backdoor that they have done? Mayroon pong may national security content. And we have to be wary about this. I don't know, but that is my understanding. It is a decision that I've gotten last night from the website of the ARC.
Congressman Dan, just for clarification, kasi sa dami yun yung present, 40% ang foreign.
Yes,
alam natin.
China Grid
Now,
Corporation.
because of these share swaps, posible ba na lumagpas na ng 40% ang foreign?
Well, you'll never know. Ha? Oh, may foreign nominee. Makikita mo, Mr. Chairman, no? May PCD nominee corporation, 13.32, may 7.43%. And that's the reason why I wanted that this corporation be invited in the next hearing. PCD nominee corporation, non-Filipino. They owned 7.43%, which will be added
To the 40.
Hindi ko alam, baka mamaya yung China Grid Corporation din ang kumuha nito. Eh di majority na sila. Sa panagbotohan, China na masusunod, hindi na po tayo. As a matter of fact, Mr. Chairman, even before, China naman ang nasunod Di ba? Alam naman natin, si Wenbo, ang pumirma doon sa mga, we have the investigation that we have conducted.
Anyway, we'll go on sa detalye. Can you stay on
Mr.
track
Chairman,
with your questioning on the shares?
What I'm trying to point out, Mr. Chairman, even before, doon po sa kanilang operation, management of the grid, ayan si Mr. Liu Shangqiang, yung Assistant Chief Technical Officer, siya pumipirma. Management sila. Even si Lee Sinhua, Chairman of the Board of Audit Committee, approving authority. Si Anthony Almeida, witness nga lang Si Mr. Wenbo, Chief Technical Officer, is the approving authority for such hiring. Siya nag-hire, Chinese. Hindi pa nga nabibili ang share ng mga foreigners, sila na nagdidesisyon. What more, pag sila na may-ari ng mga shares.
We take note of that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
That in the future, in the next hearing. So now, may we now ask, before we now proceed, I would like to now ask
Mr. Chair, just before your question, I just want to ask something.
the Honorable Deputy Speaker. I will wave to our dear Deputy Speaker, J.J. Suarez.
Gusto ko lang malaman ewan ko lang kung sasagutin pa tayo ng NGCP. Maybe from DOE. Itong kinikita ba ng NGCP is taxable?
Mr. Chair, based on the franchise, it's a 3% in lieu of all. whether it's national or local taxes.
So you're saying they are not paying any income tax?
No, sir. But Mr. Chair, I think in a better position would be ERC because sila yung
So meaning
Yes,
the only
Mr.
thing that they're paying for is franchise.
That's correct, Mr.
And
Chair.
and how much percent is that?
That's 3% in lieu of all taxes. 3% of gross revenues in lieu of all taxes.
So ito po kasi Mr. Chair yung point ko, medyo nakakakulo ng dugo. Ang laki-laki na nga ng kinikita nila, ang laki-laki ng dividendo nila, hindi pa sila nagbabayad ng buwis kasi nasa prangkisa nila na hindi sila dapat magbayad ng buwis kasi lang mahal-mahal ng presyo ng kuryente. Dahil nagbabayad tayo sa mga proyektong hindi pa tapos. Kung kakwentahin natin, ewan ko lang kung kayang makwenta ngayon to ng DOE at saka ng ERC, kung kakwentahin natin, magkano yung naidadagdag sa binabayad ng isang Juan de la Cruz para sa mga proyektong hindi pa tapos? Kasi sinabi nyo, nagbabayad tayo sa mga proyektong hindi pa tapos. Ngayon, para mas maunawaan lang ng mga Pilipino, magkano yun? May kwenta na po ba tayo doon?
Medyo mahirap pong kwentahin yun sa lahat ng project, but we can try, Mr.
No, but
Chair.
okay. So, Chairman Di Malanta, let's say at 100 pesos. Let's say X equals 100 pesos. This is how much the Filipino people are paying. On a, let's say, how do you say it? Average number, 100 pesos. Magkano dun sa 100 pesos ay yung mga proyektong hindi pa tapos na binabayaran natin? Would you say 20%? 30%?
Hindi po kasi siya 1:1, Mr. Chair. For
Yes, I
example, yung pong portion na binabayaran na natin pero hindi pa kompleto, mako-compute po namin yon. Pero meron din po kasing yung tinatawag nating cost of energy not served. Dahil po hindi nila nakompleto, hindi nakapasok yung generator, for example. So may cost din po yon. Yun pong consumers na hindi napagsilbihan, gumamit po ng ibang kuryente, diesel generator, for example po. Sinasama po namin yun sa computation. So yun po yung cost of alternative energy supply. May per project po, may costing po tayo dyan. So mabibigay naman po namin yun. Pero
Yeah, so...
in billions po kasi yun, Mr. Chair.
Hindi kasi, syempre ako, nagbabayad kami ni Ana ng kuryente buwan-buwan. Eh di, ang alam kasi namin, pag nagbayad kami, base to sa ginamit namin. Kaya kami nagagalit sa bahay minsan pag naiiwan bukas ang aircon kasi nakikita namin tumataas yung metro namin, bayad sa Meralco. Kasi yun pala, may mga binabayaran tayo na hindi pala natin pinakikinabangan. Tama po ba yun?
Ganun po yung nangyayari pa. Apo.
That's highway robbery, ah.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sorry.
I think that
Just wanted to point that out because, you know, we have to talk about efficiency. We need to talk about improving government services. We need to improve about, you know, bettering utilities for the Filipino, which is basic. You know, electricity is just like water. You can't live without it now. So we cannot allow such a situation where someone is definitely benefiting so much while the Filipino people continue to suffer. So I think, Mr. Chair, thank you for supporting my motion, and I would like to yield to the chairman for that point.
Thank you very much. Yusek Sharon Garin, you have the floor.
Mr. Chair, I think the calculations, one agency that can derive a number, but I don't know if exactly they can derive what DS Suarez would want is IMAP, Mr. Chair. They can also do simulations on that, Mr. Chair.
Yes, can we, on the suggestion of the Honorable Undersecretary Sharon Garin, you're recognized.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chair. Yes, we can po.
Pero You don't have that right now.
Oh,
please prepare for the next hearing.
Will do, Mr. Chair.
The question, that exact question will be raised by the Deputy Speaker again, and we will call you first. Okay, thank you. So, the Honorable Suarez, they will prepare that answer in the next hearing.
Okay.
Honorable Rog, welcome to the committee hearing. You may now ask your question.
Mr. Chair, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, just a quick manifestation because I agree with the sentiments of D.S. Suarez and I support the motion to convert this to a thorough review of the franchise. I wanted to bring this up earlier, but given that Section 8 is talking about the dispersal of ownership, as we've seen with other franchise hearings we've had, Mr. Chair, this is usually there to temper interests of those who are currently holding the franchise and to level the playing field with the public. So as we can see, we can't talk about inefficiency, we can't talk about La Nina preparedness without talking about conflict of interest. So I really do agree that we should look into Section 8. With that, Mr. Chair, I would just like to request that through the committee and through the chair, most respectfully, we request for the documents that were being referred to earlier. May we request from SGP, Synergy, Grid, the share swap agreement that they might have had with NGCP, and maybe also request, Mr. Chair, for the documents that SGP presented to the PSE for their IPO. I think this would be very helpful for us moving forward, especially if since the motion was granted, and we'll be taking that in the next hearing. Yun lamang po, Mr. Chair, for the consideration of the body. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Rog. NGCP, did you take note of the request?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we are taking note of all the requests. Yes, Mr. Chair, even the one given online po.
Okay, thank you very much. So that's clear. Please submit those documents. And the position that all these questions really started because of the transmission issue. Kaya ako nagsasanga-sanga itong mga tanong at nanganganak because also of the answers raised by NGCP. And we have to be very, very clear because at the end of the day, it's public interest, public good, ang bottom line po nito. That's why yan po talaga ang titignan po natin. So now, yes, the Honorable J.J. Suarez, you're recognized.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I just need to amend my motion earlier.
Yes.
Since we have sufficient numbers of members present with us online, may I call on the members of the committee to vote on conducting a motu proprio inquiry for the review of the congressional franchise of NGCP. I move a referendum be made on this matter. So move, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion by the Honorable Deputy Speaker J.J. Suarez. Any second? The Honorable Dan?
Second motion, Mr.
There's
Chair.
a second motion. I didn't know kasi you opened your mic. So,
Yes,
the second by the Honorable Dan Fernandez. Comsec, any objections? If there are none, therefore we now, the motion is hereby approved. We now proceed.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, the Honorable Dan Fernandez.
Prior to my next...
pabusin ko muna yung mga tanong nyo kasi may mga tanong din ako. Pero unahin ko muna kayo.
Sige, prior to the next issue that this representation would like to tackle, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to ask yung NGCP about doon po sa NGCP attorney, kasi years ago, ang National Transmission Corporation o Transco, sumulat si Mr. Henry C., ang President and CEO, sa kanya about the establishment or engaging yung pong NGCP in other businesses without prior consent of the PISAM. Are you familiar with this issue?
No, Mr. Chair. If we have a copy of that, maybe we can answer.
Yes. Kasi ang NGCP po ay nagtayo ng mga telecommunication, doon sa mga sub-transmission natin na under the concession agreement. And these have been discussed thoroughly sa Senate, dito sa Congress, etong mga facility na to. And we asked before if these facilities were dismantled. So siguro isama nyo na lang po sa report nyo these facilities were dismantled. But because, Mr. Chairman, yung telecommunication business na dollars, $22 billion ang pwede nating projected income dun sa optical fiber that can be put on the grid, no? Napakalaki po ng negosyong pwede nating makuha dito. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I think it is imperative on this government and on this Congress to really review their franchise dahil nga meron po tayong nawawalang potential pagdating po doon sa paggamit ng ating pong grid. Hindi po ito nakita nung ito po'y pinirmahan tong concession agreement, yung possibility that this telecommunication can be taken advantage by this government. And I think we need to discuss the importance of this business that this government must be put on this different sites, ano, yung ating mga sub-transmissions. Secondly, Mr. Chairman, I think, alam mo to, Attorney Cynthia, meron po tayong property na owned by the Social Security System doon sa Pasay. Ito po ay 60,500 square meter. At doon po sa pagtatayo sa Pasay ng 230 kilovolts substation project, it requires only 2,000 square meter. So ang tanong ko, bakit po natin binili yung 60,852 square meter na property doon po sa Pasay na pag-aari ng SSS?
Mr. Chair, we will draft our answer, submit our answer, written form.
And also, please try to answer back on this issue dahil yung pong property na binili ng NGCP, nakapangalan po sa NGCP. Tandaan po ninyo, hindi po kayo ang may-ari nito. Ito'y pag-aari ng gobyerno. And that's the reason why we're asking why the purchase of the property sa Pasay na pag-aari ng Social Security System, nag-file ang NGCP ng expropriation and they were able to purchase the 60,000 square meter property and put the name under the NGCP. Okay, so please put that in your record as well. Yes.
Can I just add that it's not just SSS, there's also cases of NPC and PSAL, Mr. Chair. Similar manner.
So how many, Mr. Chair?
And our record is just 3 government agencies.
3 government agencies.
Yes,
I think
Mr. Chair.
also the sa Barangay Bitin, sa Bae Laguna, na kung saan, doon po ako nanggaling, Barangay Bitin, Bae Laguna, in connection with the Lumban EHB Bae 230 kilovolts transmission is under also the expropriation. And kung inilalagay nila sa kanilang pangalan yung property at ang contention nila ay ipapangalan sa atin after the concession agreement expired, then yung property baka tumaas na during that time. So mahirapan ng gobyerno to pay it back or to buy back the property. So dapat ngayon pa lamang, Mr. Chairman, nasa pangalan na po yan ng Transco. Dahil Transco po ang ay pag-aari po ng gobyerno. So yun po ang ating pong isang contention that I think there is also a violation on the part of the NGCP on putting the name of a private company on the property that was expropriated by them and by the government in favor sa kanila. Sa kanila nakapangalan. Hindi po sa atin. So, doon pa lamang nakikita po natin ang maraming mga violation that was committed by the NGCP. So, Mr. Chairman, pupunta na po ako sa last. Kasi po pinag-uusapan kanina, binabanggit po ni Attorney Cynthia yung we're talking about yung kanilang operation dahil nga po La Nina na. Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Sharon, before we ask the Honorable Dan to continue, the Honorable
yes,
Yusek.
just on the topic on the expropriation, because there is a ruling of the ERC na hindi pwede sila to expropriate if there is no ERC ruling. And exactly the problem why the problem is exacerbated by the fact that it's under the name of a private company. Had it been a government agency expropriating, even for our developers, ang DOE kasing nagsumusulat sa owners for the expropriation proceedings. And that medyo yun yung usual course ng expropriation. Now, if it's a private company, then it becomes longer and more complicated and more bound to the expensive and even more bound to certain rules. Pero kung government yan, Transco or DOE, then beyond the franchise and beyond the IPIRA law, pwedeng may right ang gobyerno mag-expropriate, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Yusek Sharon Garin. Any other question for any other member?
Mr. Chair.
The Honorable Dan Fernandez.
Kasi nga, yun nga po ang tatanong ko rin sa NGCP kasi sa logo lang nila, makikita mo na ang feeling ng NGCP, sila po may-ari ng transmission at hindi po gobyerno. Kung papansinin po ang kanilang logo, hindi ko alam kung meron tayong logo dito Hindi po, dapat sinasama nyo ang Transco Dahil gobyerno may-ari ng transmission, hindi po NGCP. At kung ang may-ari po ng transmission ay gobyerno, dapat sa logo nyo nakasama ang Pilipinas. Hindi nyo inaari ang transmission. Now, Mr. Chairman, balik po tayo doon sa nangyari noong January 2, 2024. Alam naman po natin, Mr. Chairman, na nagkaroon tayo ng going back to the premise of Attorney Cynthia that La Nina, papasok na po La Nina. Noong January 2 ng 2024, nagkagulo po sa Panay. Alam naman natin that lahat tayo nasa bakasyon. Pumasok ang Kongreso para pag-usapan lang yung problema ng Panay, power interruption. We have invited si Roel Castro sa Panay. I think he's still in here. So, ang tanong ko sa NGCP, ang pinag-usapan po natin doon ay yung pong ancillary services. So, sa ancillary services po na binabanggit, it is the obligation of the operator, which is the NGCP, to supply for the reserve capacity, contingency, and yung tinatawag nating what's this? Disposable. So, ang tanong ko po, prepared na po ba tayo doon po sa ating mga tinatawag na mga reserves? Firm na ba lahat ang mga contracts natin at wala na po tayong non-firm?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So, pagdating sa Luzon, ilan po ang naka-alat natin para po sa tinatawag nating reserve capacity? Sa regulating reserve, ilan po ang
Mr. Chair,
megawatts?
yeah, sorry. May I clarify po?
Yes.
For our ancillary services procurement, we were required by the Department of Energy to conduct a CSP. Now, the competitive selection process was conducted and finished in 2023, I think 2023. And then in 2024, we were also required to purchase a certain percentage from the ancillary services reserve market that was established in January of this year. So we have finished conducting the CSP, and the reserve market, which was launched in January po, was reinstated and then subsequently suspended and again reinstated last July. So umaandar na po yan. So yung requirement po ng NGCP na mangontrata ng firm contracts under the CSP, tapos na po yan. At yung iba po, binibili natin sa merkado.
So, pagdating sa Suarez, it's an honor, Mr. Chairman, to be called Dan Suarez.
It only means that it's Christmas.
Okay. According sa ASPP, yung contingency reserve natin na kailangan natin sa Luzon, firm contracts, 647 megawatts. Are you compliant with this?
Mr. Chair, the data I will get for you, I'll have them from the SO. But in terms of contracting, we have complied with the directive to do CSP, and we are purchasing what is required from the reserve market. But again, it really depends on what is on offer.
Ito, Atty. Cynthia, magja-January magja-January na ha. Baka mamaya yung mga congressman na naman natin sa Iloilo, ayan, katulad ni Yusek Sharon Garin, nagkaroon yan. Baka mamaya mag-outage na naman tayo, todas na naman tayo dyan. So, ang kailangan natin sa Luzon, firm contract, 647 megawatts. Sa Visayas, 150 megawatts. Sa Mindanao, 150 megawatts. Ba't ko sinasabi, ito yung contingency reserve? Ang ibig sabihin, kailangan ninyo magkaroon ng ancillary services, primary reserve, na yung pinakamalaking planta sa Luzon. Nagka-cater siya ng 647. Kapag yun nag-failed, kailangan meron tayong pampalit doon, which is 647 megawatts ang pinakamalaki natin sa Luzon. Sa Visayas is 150 megawatts, sa Mindanao 150 megawatts. These are all the ancillary services that we need for Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao for contingency reserve alone. Meron din tayong tinatawag na dispatchable reserve. Sa dispatchable reserve, Atty. Cynthia, kailangan din natin sa Luzon ng 647 megawatts, sa Visayas 135 megawatts, and Mindanao 150 megawatts. Kung meron tayong reserve sa Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, dito para sa contingency reserve and dispatchable reserve, there is no reason para tayo magkaroon ng outage ngayong darating na January. If ever, na magkaroon tayo, you have said and manifested in here that we have complied with ancillary services, then I will take your word for that. Atty. Cynthia. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At least yung mga taga-Panay at Negros and other part of our country ay meron po tayong ancillary services. Meron tayong regulating reserve, meron tayong contingency reserve, meron po tayong dispatchable reserve, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.